All right, and the presidential candidate Dayib joins us live now from our city center studios. Madam Dayib, many thanks for making time for us tonight. And let's begin with that new revelation that you may not run for president again following the postponement of the elections. What influenced this decision?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Actually, the catchword there is may. I've not made a definite decision, and I've not said that I'm not running. I said I may not. And based on the rampant corruption that we've seen inside the country, the fact that the system is being rigged by an incumbent that is in the office, and the fact that we are not competing on equal footing. I mean, when you have an incumbent who is inside the office, who has state resources and using that for his own campaign, it is not similar to having 20-something candidates who are practically, funding their own campaigns, who are not using state resources to run alongside the current incumbent. It is very similar to having your hands tied behind your back, and told to fight. You're in a boxing ring with someone whose hands are actually free and who can do whatever they please. And so really that article was to call attention to the disparity on the ground, to the fact that we are not on equal footing, and the fact that this incumbent has no right to use state resources to fund his own campaign.
And that being said, should a new date be set, do you think then that the elections will continue without any distraction?
Definitely a new date must be set for the upcoming selections. I don't call this elections, it's actually misleading, because for 48 years Somalis have not had the right to exercise their voting rights. Therefore, this is a selection. The president will be selected by members of parliament in the lower house and from the upper houses, and these are really around less than 300, and it's not the 14,000 that was mentioned. Unfortunately, we don't have a date as of yet. We need to get a date so that we know when this is actually going to happen. And as of now, we don't have a date yet.
Right. And of course, talk to us about your decision. Of course, the decision, you say you might not run for president again should a new date be set. But this must have elicited a lot of reactions among the women in Somalia. It is a very patriarchal society. There has not been a single female leader until you took that step. Talk to us about your candidature as a woman in Somalia. How has it been so far?
It has been received positively. Since yesterday, I've been getting calls, messages, people telling me not to give up, to continue the fight, people who are very worried that someone that they perceive to be competent, qualified, and capable of doing the job, and who is actually, really clean in terms of corruption, might be pulling out of the race. So the encouragement is there. Not a day goes by when I don't get that, when people tell me, you are actually not just the future, but also what we hope is the current reality. And so, although Somalia might be seen as a patriarchal society, it doesn't differ from many other societies in that sense. Look at the United States, where Hillary Clinton was not run in a patriarchal society, yet she lost the presidential elections because over 60% of the white women voted for Donald Trump. So Somalia is in many ways really progressive, because it's the first East African country that had a female foreign minister, also a deputy prime minister. And so despite the challenges that the country is facing, it is also willing really to modernize itself and move forward. And that's something I think we need to be very proud of and knowledgeable about. It's not always about wars and not about women being really deprived of their rights in the society. There are also women who are fighting against that. And Somali women have always been informal leaders of the country. My candidacy wants to formalize that, and we are not going to negotiate about that. And really this is what we are doing. It is to make sure that that leadership is taken formally also.
Right, right. Now, one of the issues that you've fronted as a presidential candidate is that you wanted to negotiate a peace deal with Al-Shabaab to end the frequent attacks in Somalia. But as soon as you announced your candidature in June 2015, was it, you immediately received death threats from Al-Shabaab. How has that been so far?
I am of the opinion that we cannot fight militarily and win a military war against Al-Shabaab. Because if it were that easy and simple, then we should have eradicated Al-Shabaab from Somalia a long time ago. Taking into consideration that we have the Somali National Armed Forces who are collaborating with AMISOM that has more than, I believe, 25,000 troops inside the country. And they've been fighting Al-Shabaab. They have the financial means. The European Union was paying AMISOM to do this, yet all the areas that they had previously secured from Al-Shabaab are being taken back by Al-Shabaab. So that shows you that really using violence against Al-Shabaab isn't going to work.
Right.
What will work is really making sure that we address the socio-economic disparities inside the country, the disparities that force young Somalis to join Al-Shabaab, because Al-Shabaab really is able to pay them, which is something that almost 67% of the Somali youth are lacking. The unemployment rate is 67%, considering the fact that over 75% of the Somalis are under the age of 30. Really, this is why Al-Shabaab has been able to flourish. Therefore, we must invite them to the peace table, provided that they disarm, they stop killing, and they renounce their affiliation with international terrorism. I believe dialogue to be the way forward, the only constructive way forward for Somalia. We cannot fight for the rest of our lives. Violence isn't going to get us anywhere. And if violence were actually the solution to Somali problems, Somalia would be one of the most peaceful countries on earth, considering the amount of violence that has gone on over there. So although some of these men might feel threatened, and interestingly enough, they do not threaten any of the other male candidates, I believe that is really a compliment, because they see what I'm capable of. They feel scared of the change that I can usher in, and that doesn't deter me from the work that I'm going to do.
All right, thank you very much, presidential candidate Fadumo Dayib, joining us live from our city center studios, of course, in the wake of a report by the Somali Electoral Commission that the presidential elections have been postponed for the third time.